morning. The large shed was engulfed in flames around 2:30, and shortly after firefighters arrived, the roof caved in. It's located in the 1700 block of 9th Avenue Southeast. Firefighters tell us it was a cold storage building for campers. Volunteer fire departments from a couple of nearby communities were called out to help. New this morning, an early morning call about flooding in an apartment appears to be taking somewhat of a positive turn. Police on the scene of an apartment building in the 2700 block of 40th Street South in Moorhead say seepage in a main level unit turned out to be a small leak. Fire crews spent much of their time looking for the source. Extreme cold weather is prime time for frozen pipes and water main breaks, which can cause serious water damage. Our stretch of extreme weather has air and heating technicians working overtime, and those experts say you should be on top of furnace checkups too. They say a big thing that could help keep your home warm is to check your furnace filter. It should be changed every season. Just pull it out and check and see if it's full of dust. If it gets plugged up, it will restrict the airflow and could even cause your system to shut down. And if you have a home heated by an efficiency furnace, which uses PVC pipes to vent out of your home, you should really make sure there's no ice buildup or snow blocking that venting. And you probably figured this out after the last week of winter extremes, but mechanics are also reminding people to give your car a little time to warm up and for the oil to work its way through the motor during this really cold weather, instead of just jumping in and taking right off. AAA is also suggesting that you have your battery and charging system tested by a trained technician, especially if your battery is more than 3 years old. Try not to let it sit outside in the winter without starting it for days at a time. Even a good battery might lose up to 50% of its capacity when the temperature drops to 0. We are hoping to get close to 0 for our high today, but let's talk about right now as we check in with meteorologist Lisa Green. It is a frigidly cold start to our day.
It sure is, just as bad as some days this weekend in the valley. We're looking at temperatures in the 20s and 30s below, but a pretty sunrise out there. This is our live view on our First Alert Sky Cam in Fargo at Luther Family Ford. You could see the clear sky and the sun getting ready to come up closer to that 7:30 time frame this morning. And it should be a nice bright day here today. We'll need it because it's cold yet again this morning as we're starting off our Monday morning on this President's Day. Here's a look at conditions around the region. We're at 20 below right now in Fargo, 22 below in Grand Forks and Thief River Falls. Check out Bemidji, 34 below here, so still frigid, and 21 below in Devil's Lake. So again, a frigid start to our day. Factoring in the wind, there isn't a lot, but there's enough of it that it's creating wind chills that are in the 30s and 40s below. 39 below in Grand Forks, 35 below in Fargo, 46 below in Foston. The wind pretty light, but it's out of the south. That's a good sign here, that warmer direction with some clear skies right now here in the valley. And of course, everybody's been talking about the winter weather affecting places as far south as the Gulf Coast. They've got snow in Texas and in Louisiana, and it's going to affect more parts of the eastern U.S. Here's a look at our President's Day planner for us here in the valley. Frigid, especially this morning. As we take a look at our planner, we'll see those temperatures rise through the morning hours. By lunchtime, single digits below 0. And by 3 o'clock, Fargo gets close to 0. 1 below we're going with for a high, but it doesn't take much for sending us over. So we could break the streak anywhere in the valley of 0 to below 0 temperatures here today. And we'll continue that trend. Here's our air mass forecast here. You can see in the purple areas where we've been the coldest, that changes through the week. And by the time we end the week, it's looking a lot better. Those colors looking a little less extreme, and you can see that in our 7-day planner. The end of the week will be fantastic compared to where we've been, but we still have to get through this morning, and tomorrow morning will be tough too, but little by little, we're working our way up.
Frigid to fantastic. I like how your words are changing with your forecast as well. Thank you, Lisa. New this morning, the driver could be facing criminal charges after a car smashed into a house in North Fargo. Police got a call around 10 last night to the 1100 block of 4th Avenue North and found this. The driver of the vehicle suffered a leg injury and was taken to the hospital for treatment. No one in the house was hurt. Police are forwarding a criminal report for reckless endangerment to the Cass County State's Attorney's Office. It was a close call for 2 people in West Fargo over the weekend. Smoke alarms woke them up And luckily they were able to get out of the building safely, but in just the few minutes that it took for firefighters to get there, the garage was engulfed. Crews were able to snuff out the flames fast enough that it didn't spread to the home. Firefighters believe the fire started inside the garage at an outlet that had a refrigerator plugged into it. It happened at 2173 14th Street West. The garage and 2 vehicles were destroyed, but the people living in the attached house were able to stay in their home. We're expecting to hear more today about a deadly DUI in North Fargo. Police found a 21-year-old man lying on the ground early Saturday morning near a badly damaged car at 18th Street and Great Northern Drive North. He later died at the hospital. Officers determined the driver left the scene after the crash and was located at their home by West Fargo police. That person was also hurt and taken to the hospital, then arrested for criminal vehicular injury. A Minnesota family is speaking out for the first time after a loved one's mysterious death 3 years ago. Kara Blevins was 27 weeks pregnant when she died. Her body was found close to her home in Akeley, Minnesota. Police say she died of hypothermia. Investigators don't suspect foul play, and neither do family members. But to them, something just doesn't add up. Questions surrounding her death are weighing heavily on their minds.
I had so many scenarios in my head as far as what happened to her, but the 17 days were brutal. There's no way any pregnant woman could have walked that far down those conditions.
Keena Blevins is meeting with the sheriff later this month. She hopes to get answers on what happened to her sister. Doctors say they're facing increasing threats of violence for refusing to prescribe opioids or trying to wean patients off the addictive painkillers. The issue was underscored by Tuesday's shooting at a Minnesota clinic that left 1 person dead and 4 others injured. Authorities say 67-year-old Gregory Ulrich was angry about his medical treatment and had threatened a similar mass shooting in 2018 as revenge for what he called torture related to back surgeries and prescribed medication. Doctors say they've been harassed, stalked, and even threatened with injury and death by patients who believe they need opioids. Many say they have installed alarm systems, even panic buttons, and now many exam rooms are set up so that doctors are closest to the door. Fargo's VA hospital is expanding its COVID vaccine eligibility, but there is a catch. It's only available to those who can schedule their appointment for today. Veterans must be enrolled in VA healthcare in order to get the COVID vaccine. To schedule an appointment, call the Fargo VA at 239-3700 and select option 2. Let's get our answer now to our question of the morning on Facebook. 1/3 of American homes have one of these. What is it? A welcome mat. Remember, you can play along every weekday morning by heading to our Valley News Live Facebook page. The Today Show and CBS This Morning are just about to start, but the Valley Today rolls on. Join us right now for more live up-to-the-minute news and weather on the Fargo CW.